Hello, everyone. My name is Vangelis Kalogirou, and I'm here with apalkova. And she has an event coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Vangelis, thank you for a question. Identity determines everything in our life.
When you say identity, I'm just thinking about in my own life.
Yes, it is interesting what you mentioned. It would be, I would call it not identity, I would call it roles.
Create the awareness of it because you've always been what you are. It's just, as you mentioned, the impressions that other people have placed on us.
Let's tell it this way, that our potential identity, yes, like potential of our identity, who we potentially can be.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vangelis Kalogirou, and I'm here with apalkova. And she has an event coming up in the next couple of weeks, and I want to speak with her about that event. It is the CEO Identity Live workshop, and I'm going to ask her a couple of questions from the perspective of, let's say that I want to attend this event, and I'd like to know what exactly I'm going to hear and what are my takeaways. When I finish the last session, what am I going to look back on to realize what just happened and how is that going to help me look forward in the future? So the first question I have, Elena, is why did you choose this topic of identity?
Hi, Vangelis. Thank you for a question. Identity determines everything in our life. It determines how we talk, how we walk, how we meet people, what we think about, what is possible for us. That is why I believe that if we want any difference in results, if we want anything bigger than what we have achieved by now, the first thing is to look inside. The first focus should be identity.
And when you say identity, I'm just thinking about in my own life. Um, all of us have our own environment in which we grew and all of the activities and experiences that we have. And for my life, I had to create certain identities to be able to function acceptable in society. For example, I'm a different person when I'm at home versus at school, versus at church, versus at the gym, versus at work. And I didn't realize those were all different identities because every once in a while, somebody from school would see me at church. They'd say, well, gosh, you're different. And I didn't realize that I had lived those identities so much that they had disguised themselves as me. So this is an interesting topic for me, Elena. And so could you go a little bit more into how did you arrive at thinking about identity and how did you figure out how to express it and present it?
Yes, it is interesting what you mentioned. It would be, I would call it not identity, I would call it roles or different masks or different features which you wear, like different clothes, right? Like it is not identity, but mostly like different roles, right? Like everyone can be father, can be at work, they can be boss, some can be good football player in sport team, right? So what we speak about here is your identity as a human being, as personality. What are your standards? What you tolerate, what you don't tolerate, what your beliefs are, how you see yourself, that self image, by other words, that picture about yourself when you tell yourself I am, right? And what you put after I am, like how you identify yourself. And this is, as you mentioned, that different circumstances in our life, they made us put different hats or different masks, right? And create like maybe different impressions because we wanted to some outcomes from situation, right? But here we speak mostly about discovering what is our essence, not what other people forced us to think about ourselves, or by through repetition, parents or teachers, what through repetition went impressed in our subconscious mind and we accept it as it is a truth. But really the essence of our being, that unique person who is behind all these layers, like when we see like onion, as you said, like those different like layers on onion with society, family, like whatever surrounding we were put on us. And in many cases people know those layers, what is in the surface, but they never go deeper, they don't discover who they really are, who they meant to be, because nobody teaches them. Nobody teaches
Exactly.
them to go deep, remove those layers, whoever told you who you are, and decide yourself based on your dreams, based on your aspirations, based on your answers to the questions, what I really want. So this is identity which we are going to speak about, and not only speak about, we want to create it.
Create the awareness of it, because you've always been what you are. It's just, as you mentioned, the impressions that other people have placed on us has made us think that we are these other roles and these other personas, but that hasn't changed who we really are. It has changed our awareness. And what your event is going to do is help us to look inside and find out what we really are, the real identity, not what people have told us that we are, or the way that we even see ourselves. Okay.
Let's tell it this way, that our potential identity, yes, like potential of our identity, who we potentially can be. Because when you have dreams, when you have aspirations, they're not given to you to show you something and then to make you struggle not getting that, right? It is not how God created us. When we have aspiration, when we have dreams, when we want something, it means that potentially we made to have that it is already done. Like it is done. If we'll just look at time, right, for God there is no past and future, everything already created, right? Nothing can be created or destroyed. So our actions today determine our future. If we start thinking different, feeling different, acting different today, our potential future will be different. That is why every day is a choice. Every day you can start from scratch. It doesn't matter what happened to you or for you in the past, what is going on today. It is your decision to decide, yes, to choose who you want to be today. And based on decision which you make today, based on that identity which you can create, right, it is based on yourself, on the deeper aspirations and goals. But you have to choose that from today I want to be this person, I want to become this person who is aligned with my dreams, because we can never achieve our goals if we are not that person. We only get in life who we are. So in other words, in order to achieve something, we have to become that person today. And this is what we are speaking here about, that we can choose who we can become. And there is a process how to create that identity, right? It starts from deciding who you really want, what you want, who you meant to be, and creating the script, literally creating the script, like in this acting, act as if technique, right? When we watch movies, we see actors or actresses, they perform the way that we see that movie as a real picture, like as real events happening, and we don't separate that actress uh, from her real person, an actress from the movie. We think that this is actress, that it is her or his real life, right? And then it is difficult because we just watch the movie and we think that this is person that kind of character, right? But in life they are very different. They just played the role, right? They how they did that role so amazingly. They
And
got
that's what we do too, is we have maybe been given a script by somebody and we go into that role and we don't realize that that's not me, but it's the script that somebody gave us. Culture, religion, whatever it is, they said, well, this is what we do. And if that doesn't align with you, now you're in a role in a movie that you really don't want to be in. And so you're helping us to get out of that role and to decide, what role do I want to play? What script do I want to create for myself?
exactly, you said it so right. We can choose to become the main hero in our own movie instead of play somebody else roles and the others movies, right? Because our life is our movie, and we have to be producer, the main actor, director, right? Like we have to really get in control of our life, because there are so many cliches. Like we speak as we have to speak, right? Like we don't even consciously choose how to speak. We have in conversations, we know when people ask you how are you, you should to say I'm fine. Yes, and although we know that doesn't make any sense, because it just means that the question doesn't have the meaning as the answer, but we just repeat the same because it is just cliche, right? And so many cliches in our life that we just live as robots. Yes, we never question our beliefs. Like if I tell you some question, like for sentences, I tell you, for example, I am, and ask you to feel that. Or, for example, money is, I will ask you to continue this. Or success is, right? And you will write something, or other people. And then we can ask them, have you ever questioned why you believe this? Is it something that you choose to believe, or this is just what you taught, and this is what you expected, or sorry,
So is that
accepted as
something that
belief?
you're going to take people through in your event then? So that's one of the exercises. I would like to know how you're going to help me to change that. And so you've got some exercises during the event that you're going to help me participate so that I can start questioning some of the things in my life. Is that part of what you're going to be doing?
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yes, part of event will be understanding how our current self-image, or by other words, identity was formed, right? And when you understand how it was formed, then you say, oh yes, so if it is formed that way, it means that I can change it, right?
Yes.
And then another part of the event will be like certain practice, how you will create your own self-image or identity, which will be aligned with the goals which you have, right? So we will thinking deep about the goals, why we have want this, and if it is really your goal, because so many people have goals but they're not their goals. They just look at
Exactly.
people. Yes, they look at other people and they see somebody successful, and they don't see what is behind, right? In most cases, they just see the like peak of iceberg, that is success or money or whatever.
How do you help me to become honest with myself and really find out if the beliefs I have, if that's what I really believe in? How do you help me with that?
First we identify beliefs, right? Because it related to your goal, right? You have certain beliefs which you have when you think about your goal, right? So your
Yes.
beliefs, or empowering beliefs or limiting beliefs, right? So first we will identify those beliefs, right? And then you start question them, and you see like this, for example, this is I believe this, why I believe this. Did I choose this? Did it come from
Uh,
knowing myself? Or
that I think that's critical. Did I choose that? That's a very key question. Okay.
Exactly. Did you choose it, or it is just you just accepted it because somebody else told you so many times and you accept it is as reality? Yeah, so this is like having honest conversation with yourself because uh, people are so busy nowadays. They look about strategies, yeah, they think about funnels, like business plans, AI tools, and they have no time to look inside. Like why they have the beliefs which are running every day their automatic behavior. So this is what we have to start with because most people look at that head of the iceberg that is visible,
Yes.
results, right? Like results, like effects, like money, customers, business, material things, and they focus on the strategies. But successful people, they look at identity because identity is the cause which is under that water, right, beneath the water, which is not seen, but that is the biggest part of the iceberg, right? So this is what we do exactly. We will identify beliefs, we will identify the goal, and we see where is the disagreement between beliefs, and then
Do
we
you also help me to, I know this may sound silly, but some people do not believe that they can change things because that's a belief, right? So how do you help people triumph over those beliefs that say, well, I can't really change my life? The people that feel like they're stuck, what kind of help do you offer there?
I think that people are stuck because they choose it, not
Okay.
consciously but subconsciously. If people believe that they cannot do things, it means that this is their choice. And another reason is that their goal is not big enough. Goal is not big enough. Go and find a big goal. Go and find a big goal which will change your beliefs, right? Like find really something meaningful in your life, big goal that will excite you so much that you would like to question your beliefs and that you will
Mhm.
be committed to do everything in order to achieve that goal. And this is how you will start looking what holds you back, what brought you to results which you have now. Because if you don't change your beliefs, if you don't change your habits, it means that you will continue have the same results again and again. Because
Yeah.
results is not what we want. Results are effect of the cause which causes us, and what means us means our identity, which also part of that is our beliefs, right? So
I like this. Good. You have to have your goals big enough so that you question your beliefs. That's a really big key thing because a lot of times we are followers of followers who are followers of followers. And well, that's what they did. Or if you're in a corporate setting, well, we've always done it that way before. And so that makes my belief so small. In fact, it's not even a belief. It's like, okay, that's the way we always do it. And that can be cultures. We've always done it. This is the way you do it. And so part of making your goals and big enough, that's what helps me push past to actually question, well, do I even believe in this? And that helps me push past it. That's really good, Elena.
yes, exactly. If your goal is not big enough, why you'd even bother, right, to question your beliefs? So
Yeah.
everything starts with the goal, yes, and understanding that really why you live, what you want to achieve in this life, what impact you want to create, how you want to bring your best to the surface. And then when you have the desire and have that commitment, and you made the decision that I'm going for that, whatever it takes, then when it starts, that turning point when you start from your habits, your beliefs, and other stuff.
I'm reading one of the bullets here, how successful CEOs think differently. So another part that you introduce is if you don't have a starting point, let's look at how other people have done this. So you're looking at how other successful CEOs have proceeded. So you give us some examples as well.
Yes, so CEO, as we discussed all this topic today, is identity. Successful CEO, they will look at their identity, at their discipline. And discipline is not willpower. Willpower will not take you long because, as any muscle, if you strain your muscle, if you overweight, yes, it will get tired, right? But identity is something that will move forward, right? And that when you align your identity with results which you want, this is how things start change. And of course, a CEO is not only working on their identity, right? These principles, they will also teach their team, right? Like everybody will be united with the big vision and goal, and also will know that there shouldn't be a gap between their identity and those goals, because people know what they want in an individual level or as a team, but in very many cases there is a big gap between what they know and what they do. So it is not enough to declare that our team is going for these goals. It is very important to identify themselves with the person who is already made that goal natural, because we
Yes.
expect everything what is natural for us. And how we can make things natural is just by impressing this thought into our subconscious mind and start seeing those big goals as not big goals, as a small goals, right? Like something that is just for us is breathing every day or drinking water. So there are so
Mhm.
many things in changing perceptions about goals, right? And when
And,
you
and,
make,
and,
yeah,
and that also goes to the next piece is how to make decisions from vision rather than circumstances. Because as you were mentioning, you have to know what you want, and that's part of your vision. If you don't know what you want, that feeds into your vision. And so if you don't have a vision, if you don't know what you want, then all you're doing is just responding or reacting to circumstances. And that's part of what you're just talking now. You're watching how other people create that vision, create what they want, and then that allows them to stop just reacting to circumstances.
exactly, this is the secret. Like,
Mm.
whatever you want, you have to decide that it is already there for you and you already that person. It is not being the way how you used to be and being in your comfort zone and wishing for results like 10x of what you have now. You have to decide that you are that person. Like, imagine you already get that results, how you would think, how you would feel, what you would do, and start being that person today. So this is
Hmm.
how we align who you are and the goal. So you stop chasing things which you are not, right? You cannot chase. I mean, if you chase, they will run out of you, right? If you just chase money, chase clients, you will not get them, because you have to become that person first and attract naturally this what everything what you want. And this
And
is
that goes into your next topic, which is that's raising the standard. That's your next bullet. Because once you see the vision, once you're not reacting to circumstances, now you've raised the standard, and then now you start tracking those things, and now you get lasting business results.
exactly. You got it right. Our standards determine the ceiling, right? So if we get to some certain level and we feel like we are just hit the ceiling, we have to change the settings, right? Settings like the
Yeah.
thermostat. Thermostat, whatever you set, like 18 degrees, it will come heat or cold. It will keep temperature in the room the same, right? So this is identity exactly like a setting. It is cybernetic mechanism in our subconscious mind, which will keep loyalty to our setting, like set temperature.
Mm.
And this is why people chase and put so much effort and push, and then they don't get anywhere further, because this is the secret. Like they have to go inside the settings and start the thermostat and change the temperature. And then when the temperature is changed in thermostat, this is how you don't need to push anymore.
And that's how you work backwards. Because if you say, why am I stuck? Well, you have a ceiling because you don't have a vision, because you're reacting to all your circumstances, because you're playing a role. And so it just all fits in that nice thing. So let me go over and review what we've done because we're already at over 20 minutes. So let's look. So you chose this topic because you want people to look inside. And we're going to talk about in your event, you're going to talk about the roles, the masks that people have, the beliefs that have those self-images of what people think they are, and what you put after the words I am is going to allow you to find out where you are, what your beliefs are. And we are the different impressions that are put upon us is what create those ideas of what we think we are. And so the discovery is what is our essence. We are discovering what is our essence because every person has a unique person behind all of their layers. And what other people think, the potential that we have, the identity that you're talking about, if we don't have any dreams, then that's the potential that we're looking at. But as we realize that we have potential to reach those dreams, then that's what allows us to have our actions determine our future. And then to achieve something, you have to align with that dream. If you don't have the dream, there's nothing to align to. And that allows us to be able to know we can create our script and we can choose to be the hero in our own movie. And so the first identity belief is that empowering or limiting, because we're going to figure out if our beliefs are empowering us or limiting us. And that then moves us to, did I even choose the beliefs that I have? Because if I didn't, that's one of the first steps I have to look at is go inside. Are those beliefs my beliefs? And then did I just accept them? People choose to be stuck. And that's another thing that you're going to help us with is the choices you don't think are choices, you're choosing to be stuck. Well, why am I choosing that? That's why we have this event. So my goal may not be big enough for me to even think about changing anything. And so you're going to look at different people like CEOs who have the discipline and the willpower. And the reason that those work for them is because they know what they want. And because they know what they want, that helps them to choose a vision. And then instead of reacting to circumstances, they're choosing a vision. And then that's what raises the standard of where you are, which raises the ceiling, which then helps you achieve your goals. So
Exactly.
that's
Mhm. Yes, it is.
excellent.
Yes, this is a part of workshop because of course we will speak about habits, about discipline and other things, but you got it right, yes, and this can be a very good step in order to understand that so much of what we do is on autopilot, right? And only the way how to get out of that and start getting different results is to work on identity.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Elena. I think anyone who attends this event will be able to realize that there are a lot of takeaways. It's not just one takeaway. Because depending upon where you are, if you're a person that can run 1 mile or you're a person that can run 26 miles, that is the range that you're going to be able to assimilate and take away. So I think there's something there for all these different people. So thank you so much, Elena, for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for the questions, Vangelis.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.